never really understand this maddening and magnificent creature we call the human being. With all of our millennial efforts to comprehend our nature, in truth, we've hardly scratched the surface of self-knowledge. The poet who wrote Psalm 8 asked, Adonai Adonenu, ma enosh ki tizkerenu uven adam ki tifkedenu. O God, what is the human creature that you remember us? And what is man that you are mindful of us? You have made us little lower than angels and crowned us with glory and honor. If this is so, if we're little lower than angels, what does that say about the angels? If we're crowned with glory and honor, why do we commit such horrendous acts? The contrast between our high self-image and the base evil we're capable of has long baffled and intrigued the greatest minds of our species. Shakespeare, who probably knew Psalm 8 by heart, put it this way in the mouth of Hamlet. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? How to explain this quintessence of dust we call the human being? The oracle of all American knowledge, Mark Twain, wrote a sparkling essay he titled The Character of Man. Twain never flinched from peering deeply into the human soul, and usually he didn't like what he saw there. Concerning man, he wrote, he was not made for any useful purpose. He was most likely not even made intentionally. His working himself up out of the oyster bed to his present position was probably a matter of surprise and regret to the Creator. We are the tail end of a tapeworm eternity of ancestors, a decayed and rancid mush of inherited instincts and reaching. Man, wrote Twain, was made at the end of the week when God was tired. Of all the creatures that were made, he wrote, man is the most detestable. Of the entire brood, he is the only one, the solitary one that possesses malice. Malice is the basis of all instincts, the most hateful, Twain wrote. That one thing puts him below the rats and the grubs. He is the only creature that inflicts pain for sport, knowing it to be pain. All creatures kill, but of the whole list, man is the only one that kills for fun. He is the only one that kills for revenge. Dostoevsky had similar misgivings. People sometimes talk about man's bestial cruelty, he wrote in The Brothers Karamazov, but that is being terribly unjust and offensive to the beasts. A beast can never be as cruel as a human being, so artistically, so picturesquely cruel. A tiger simply gnaws and tears, and that's the only thing it knows. It would never enter its mind to nail people to fences by their ears and leave them like that all night, even if it were able to do such a thing. To look at ourselves truthfully is to confess that we are a baffling mixture of noble and base impulses. Little lower than angels, crowned with glory and honor, and at the same time, seemingly the tail end of a decayed and rancid mush of inherited instincts. Human beings are such a piece of work. We are merciful. We practice friendship. We give and receive love. Yet often darkness eclipses our splendor. Most devious is the heart, wrote Jeremiah. Who can fathom it? We are capable of admiration and envy at the same time. We can express compassion and ego in the same act. We may be charitable and uncharitable in one fell swoop. For every noble impulse in us, it seems that an equal and opposite impulse drags us down. It's human nature itself that causes our misery. Religion, philosophy, political systems, these are the justifications and excuses. As we are on the eve of an historic election, it's worth remembering that political ideas in and of themselves are not the cause of destruction. Rather, it is malice, avarice, pride, ambition, revenge, lust, the urge to power, domination, and conquest. These are the source of misery that we inflict on one another. No political or philosophical system is immune from human nature. The thread connecting every human misfortune is the human race. Political, religious, and moral philosophies seek to tame the human animal, but we are constantly on the precipice because destruction is in our nature as well. After the opening passages of Genesis, the entire remainder of the Bible, in fact, every Jewish thought expressed ever since, in one way or another, is connected to the effort to tame these destructive human propensities. Judaism insists we have a choice. From the moment that Adam and Eve ate of the fruit of the tree, the ability to choose entered our world. They chose. And with that choice came morality. All morality is based on free will. If we are not free to choose, morality has no meaning. For example, if a hurricane destroyed my house, the outcome might be the same as a neighbor who burned down my house. In both cases, my house is destroyed. But there's no moral significance to a hurricane. If an infant playing with matches ignited my house, the outcome might be the same as if a Ku Klux Klaner purposely set fire to my house. In both cases, the house is destroyed. But there's no moral judgment assigned to the infant, maybe to the parents who left her alone, but not to her. The arsonist chose to burn down my house, and that choice is what makes the action immoral. We know the difference between right and wrong. We do not need others to tell us. We feel it, we intuit it, we just know it. Moral teachers and moral guides do not invent new moralities. They simply remind us and reinforce what we already know. And Judaism insists we are not destined for evil. We have the ability to choose between right and wrong, peace and war, love and hate, life and death. Behold, I have set before you life and death, life and goodness, death and evil, blessing and curse. Choose life, so that you and your offspring shall live. We're not destined to be caught in a maze of immorality. We can find our way out. We can change the direction. The choice is ours. Franz Kafka wrote this compelling short story. Alas, said the mouse, the world is growing smaller every day. At the beginning, it was so big that I was afraid. I kept running, and I was glad when at last I saw walls far away to the right and to the left. But these long walls have narrowed so quickly that I am in the last chamber already, and there in a corner stands the trap that I must run into. You only need to change your direction, said the cat, and ate it up.